Hi everybody, I had a crazy OBE I want to talk to you about. Okay, as you know, I made that video about all the people that I lost. I think in this OBE, someone was trying to talk to me. Let me go back. Okay, so yesterday, I was listening to Hemi Sync, and it's called Gateway, and you can get that. Like, it's not sponsored or anything. It's free on YouTube. Just put in Hemi Sync Gateway or Monroe Institute Gateway, and it'll come up. And my body's so weird. Like, this Gateway thing has a protection mode in it. Like, when you're doing it, you have to say these words out loud to, like, protect yourself during the time. But my body is so used to this stuff that the minute it hears, the minute I hear the beginning of the video, the beginning of the Hemi Sync, before it gets to the protection thing, boom, I'm starting to leave my body. I guess I'm like a Pavlov dog, you know, like I'm like completely like conditioned to hear the beginning of this. Same with that Proctor, Bob Proctor video, man. I just listened to it for a minute and I start to fly. So anyway, so I put on Hemi Sync yesterday, and I'm listening to it for like whatever, not long enough because I never got to the protection mode. Not that it mattered. I wasn't threatened, but I fear something else now because of what I was told. So anyway, so I travel. I start to travel so fast. It was almost like being pulled. Okay, so I travel before I do the protection rituals to keep you grounded, keep you here, keep you protected during this whole thing, because there are some crazy ass scary entities out there that I've met up with, seen, and don't want to meet again, to be completely honest. Like, there's even places, like I told you once, I like came to myself and I was in this jail, this canvas jail. Like, it was so strange. It was like a canvas box, and it had, oh, anyway, that's another video, but I already did it. But but that outside there was a nothingness, and that nothingness kind of freaks me out, okay, just so you know. All right, so I flip over and I flip into the cabin, which only usually happens anymore when I use Hemi Sync, when I use the Monroe Institute stuff. And the reason why is because there's a part of that where you have to like take off your clothes and all that, and even though I didn't even get to that part, listening to it, I know it. So I just went through it in my mind, you know, like I just like had the box there and I took my body off and all that. And I was doing it kind of, I don't want to say unconsciously, but certainly not like on purpose, because I would have waited for the protection thing. So anyway, everything's good. So I come to and I'm in the bedroom in the cabin. And by the way, like, somebody told me there's a movie called The Cabin where Jesus was, and like, I watched part of that, and my cabin doesn't look anything like that cabin. My cabin is kind of like horror movie cabin, not like Little Flowers in the Garden cabin. Just so you know, there is no floors in my cabin. There's no furniture unless there's a purpose for one. Like when I found Jeff there was a chair in the living room. That chair disappeared with Jeff. There is no chair. So anyway, so I come to myself, and the only thing obviously it's in the room is the chest that I make to put my body and my worries and anything from behind in, close the lid so that that stays safe. Come on, come on, come on, camera. Okay, so that stays safe. Then I turn around to walk outside. As I walk outside, usually the naked dark-haired lady's there. She was not this time. But as I walk outside, one of my other spirit guides are there, and dressed almost like, okay, so he's Indian. And I see him in very many different ages. Sometimes he's 10 years old and he's naked at 10. Sometimes he's like 30 and he's in a business suit. And other times he's in this white outfit. This time he was in the white outfit. The white outfit is like a white jacket, but it's very long, almost like a dress with pants. And then he wears like sandals, what I call Jesus shoes, you know, the like Birkenstocky looking sandals, only I don't think these are Birkenstock. But anyway, sometimes he's in that. And this time he was in that. So as I walk out the front, I turn around and I walk out the front door. There was a very different feel this time. A lot of times I get there and I walk out and I feel very kind of alone. Like I'm on a deserted island or a part of the earth. And for some reason I do connect this area with the earth because I've been in other places that look Earth-like, but there are little clues that you're not in Earth, like things sparkle, things waver. This is very solid. Whenever I go there, I feel like I'm in Glacier National Park or something, okay? In some remote place in the Canadian mountains. I don't know. There's no real mountains. Do you know what I mean, though? I hope you do. Anyway, so turn around, walk outside. As I'm walking outside, I do not feel alone. Like I instantly know that there's something near me or some things near me. I am not alone here today. So that makes me a little like leery of each step. So I'm like looking around as I'm walking, where normally I just burst outside and don't even think about it. Okay, so as I get out the door, there is no, it's like the door's open always. It's a path. It's sunny out. As I walk out, I say out loud, oh, it's so warm here. Because even though the weather has changed here, it's still really friggin' cold. So it was nice to be somewhere like really warm. So I walk outside and I say, oh, it's so warm here. And he answers me, the Indian guy who I don't know his name. I'm going to find out his name because I keep saying to myself, there's things you need to find out. Like you need to look at streets to see what the street like is. You need to look at, like, I want things I can revert back to and see if I've ever seen them before in my life, if I've passed them before in my life, if they're somewhere in my subconscious, or is it something totally alien? But anyway, so, but in moments, I forget that stuff. Like, the proof doesn't matter anymore. It's so funny because, like, when I'm on this side, I'm like, oh, you know, I need to get her name because then I can research it and figure out who I'm talking to. And then when I get there, it's like, who needs her name? It's so weird. But anyway, so I walk outside and he's there. He's in the white outfit. And I said to myself, or thought to myself, I should say, I thought to myself, oh, it's so warm here. And he says, yes. And I turned around. I was like in shock that somebody spoke. I felt like somebody's there, but I didn't know he was right there. So there he was. And I said, I was like, and I said, he said, it will get even colder. So I went, like, what does that mean? So then, and it's so weird because I just had a talk about the Ice Age, where they, where Shelley wrote Frankenstein, that whole story. And so, like, here it is again. He's like, it'll be colder, or it's getting colder. And so I was like, oh, I didn't even say anything. I was just like, oh. And he comes around, and I had put my hands up when I first heard him. I was like, and so he comes around in front of me, closes his hands over mine, and puts them down. And I said, he said, you have lost many. And I was like thinking, oh, the video, because I remember I had mentioned how many I lost. That's just from work. If I told you the list of people who I buried, of friends and family, like, it's a pretty long list. So I said, people are sad. And he said, but you know. And I was like, wait a minute, is Barnell here? So that's what, he read my thought, like, instantly. Like, so right away I thought, oh my God, it must be that Barnell's here. But part of me knew that wasn't real. Do you know what I mean? A part of me said, no, Barnell's not here. That's not it. I'm wrong. Barnell's not with me. I didn't feel him with me. Nothing like that. So I said, but I said it. I was like, because that's the last person that left, you know. I said, is Barnell here? And he has my hands like this, and he like shook my hands a little, and he said, they are with you. And I said, Barnell? And he's like, he didn't say no, but I felt no. And he's like, so many are with you. And I was like, do they haunt me? Like, is this like a haunting? And he's like, but you know why. No, I don't. And I think what he meant was, now this is again, it's all subjective. I think he meant, I know that they are not dead. Like they're not gone, which there is no gone, which I just said in a video. So much of this, I think, was brought on by the fact, the things I said in the video. And so I was like, now that I look back on it, I didn't think that right then. I was more thinking like, is Barnell here? Like, am I going to see him like I did Jeff? So he said, and he doesn't say this in words, which makes it very hard for me to tell you what it is. But what he said is, who you are to them remains. It stays. That connection is there. So I was Jeff's lover. I was his significant other. And that doesn't stop. Who you are to them does not stop just because that page is turned. Or, like in Jeff's case, I haven't seen him in a little while, just because I haven't connected with him in a while. So that was so good to know. I kind of was worried that Jeff was going to go and not come back. And I really didn't want that. He doesn't have to like live in the same room with me, but, and I want him to go play. That was so important for me to know how happy and free he was to relive some of his best days. I had a vision of him not long ago on a mini bike on a mountain as a kid. It just like flew through my head, and I thought, oh, Jeff's riding a mini bike. Like, I want him to go do that. I would never want him to be unhappy or waiting, but I don't think it takes long. I think it's like that, and I'll be there. I think time is very different over there. But anyway, so that's what he says. Who you were to them here in this life, you are still there in the next life. You're connected is what I got out of this. You are together. You, like, that togetherness will never part. And with Barnell, I wasn't that much to Barnell. I mean, I could see him floating in and out of here simply because he knows I'm aware. But there are like others. And the first person when he was talking to me about this I thought of was Crystal. And I was like, oh, has Crystal been with me all this time? Like, have I been able to connect to her and not know it? And then I started thinking of all the people I had lost. Oh, that's a big list, guys. And who I could get in touch with. So, and I feel like as I'm standing there, like, it's not speak at this point. It's just his thoughts going into me. He knew what I was thinking, and this huge smile came on his face. He was just like, I got it. And I'm like, oh. So now I need to see who I can get in touch with. I'm dry. Sjogren's disease. I need to see who I can get in touch with, who I can connect with, because I hadn't thought of that. I never realized. And here's the thing. Somebody wrote in the comments a couple days ago or something that I feel something like, I feel like I'm Skyping with my like favorite aunt or so, or like cool aunt or something like that. I've always been that person for people. When I tell you that like who I am in life has always been the one that people come to for answers, that I don't know why. I didn't make it like that. I'm not a know-it-all. Certainly, you know, I can win. Like, you know, you watch Jeopardy. I can do one whole row in Jeopardy about certain things. About certain things, I'm an idiot. You know, I don't know. Like, I'm not particularly brilliant. I'm not particularly this or that. But whatever it is that I have draws people to me. People with problems, people with troubles. And I tend to be able to help them get over that. It's why I was a good reader. It's like my boss went to Africa and he got me this necklace. I actually wore it yesterday. I should show it to you. And it was it's a little mother symbol from one of the tribes. And I was young then. I was like in my 30s. So all I'm saying is like, that's who I've always been. But I didn't realize that that didn't stop. That kept going. And I have, even though I go outside and I say thank you to my ancestors, and I do that, and they drink before I do, and all that stuff where I remember their faces. Why did I come up with that? Nobody told me to do that. Actually, the way I don't know why I came up with that. That we walk on their shoulders. I came up with that through a movie. I saw a movie about voodoo, and that was something they were saying. And that just rang true to me. You're right. We walk on their shoulders. The whole reason for my existence is what I'm doing right now. And the whole reason for their existence is what I'm doing right now. And the whole reason for my son's existence is going to be from what he's doing right then. And he'll be walking on my shoulders. And when I saw a life like that, when I turned my mind into life like that, what I didn't realize is the people that you help or that need you still need you. They need you on the other side. They still connect with you. You just have to be open and look for it. So this is getting so long. This was pretty eye-opening for me because I honestly thought like kind of like my job is done. If somebody passed away, like not my job is done, but I honestly thought like that relationship was kind of ended if they weren't like Jeff, like Jeff, or there's a few people that I don't feel that way to. But certainly I did not see that there are so many that I've known over the course of time. And I might not be their most important person. I'm not trying to say that. But I've definitely been in their life, and I understand where they are right now, where a multitude of people don't. So I need to broaden my horizons. I need to start really diving into like mediumship. And I'm going to start with the people I know who are on the other side, who are there now. So dumb. Why wouldn't I think of this before? It took a trip to like figure this out, but it's really cool. And now like everything is suspect in my mind. Different things that have happened to me that I thought were either like just people, like maybe a spirit, but a spirit that didn't know me. Like I have so many around, I bet, that are still connected to me in some way. I can pull off of that. I can use them for energy, and I can give them still my nurturing spirit. And that's what I'm going to try to do, because I did not get it. I thought I got it. And that's what's so cool about OBEs, is you think you know. And I was like, yeah, I know how to OBE. I can fly. I can do this. I can do that. But I didn't realize what I was leaving behind. But I do now. One more fucking brick. I know something. I know something I didn't know yesterday. And that was so cool. Oh my God, I love this part of life. I love the part of life where you're figuring out stuff and like those revelations that you get. They're so awesome on this level. And you know what I noticed too? Like, I used to do all of these, like, I used to buy all this stuff, and like, I was such a consumer. And the more I get into the OBE part and all this stuff, the less I give a shit. People are like, oh, do you want to go? Like, people ask me to go shopping. I need to go anyway. Not because I need stuff, because I have to stay social. Because this part of my life tends to drive me to be alone and focused on singular things. And I need to live this part of my life, which is what I did last week. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. It was awesome. It was cool. I'll let you know how much farther I can take this. Of course, I'm going to bring you along. I love you. Bye. Have a good morning.